Few cities of the world really have 2,000 years of history super visible right underneath your shoes. But Sofia, Bulgaria is a place where you can step out of a 4th century church, hear the call to prayer from a 16th century mosque, and then go sip espresso with a mountain view, all within 5 minutes of walking. Last night we came from Plovdiv, which I absolutely loved. I fell in love with that city, and so I'm excited to see what this city has to offer. And to boot, of course, they have cute old trams. You know I love that. So first, let's head into Banya Bashi Mosque, see what this is all about. Sofia has been the capital of Bulgaria since it was liberated from the Ottomans, and Banya Bashi Mosque comes from way before that, in the mid-1500s. Unfortunately, the mosque is all locked up, but it is beautiful from the outside. Well, unfortunately, it seems like the mosque is super shut up tight this morning. But that's all right. Just behind the mosque over here, you get to see a lot of what I'm talking about. We have 16th century Ottoman mosque, of course. But then if you go across this little plaza the other way, we have this super Austro-Hungarian kind of garish architecture with a Viennese style fountain, all in this same little area. And not too far away, if we come over and just get a look down this street, you see the domes of an Orthodox cathedral. And of course, this is going to be one of many Orthodox cathedrals in the area. So I'm excited to go check those out, and then we'll go to the main walking street to get some breakfast. There are what seems like an insane amount of ruins around here, and it seems like most of these ruins are Roman and Byzantine. It almost makes sense how many there are because this has been a big city for a long time. Before the Romans arrived, the area was settled by the Thracian tribe of the Serdi, which is why the Romans gave it the name Serdica, and you see that name kind of all over the city. And Emperor Constantine the Great is even quoted as saying, "Serdica is my Rome." Which makes sense. He grew up in Niš, which is not too far from here in southern Serbia, and is a much smaller city. They don't come across quite as brilliant on the video, but these yellow bricks really stand out, and they are all over the city, so if you want to follow the yellow brick road, Sofia is a spot to go. Like I was saying, there are a ton of Orthodox churches all over. Most of them are locked up and really small. And then this monument in the background is really beautiful. We've made it to St. Nedelya Cathedral. Nedelya in Old Slavonic is Sunday, and so it's the Church of Holy Sunday. This is the main active cathedral here in St. Sofia. There's Aleksandar Nevsky is like the big church that you'll read about. It's like the #1 tourist attraction if you look it up. But Aleksandar Nevsky is more modern and more ceremonial, whereas St. Nedelya is more like active, real, living church. It's also a place where beauty meets heartbreak, as in 1925, just in the echoes of World War I, there was a terrorist attack here. The dome came crashing down and killed a lot of the military and political elite here in the city. But it was rebuilt and reinforced, and so it's both a symbol of resilience and of the active, living religious community here in Sofia. Well, let's go check it out. The architecture in this cathedral is really incredible. I love these arched windows. And then the stonework is just so beautiful. It's almost like you can feel the centuries in it. The site where the church is originally held a medieval wooden church from around the 10th century, but obviously it has grown since then. As I was saying, this is one of the main active cathedrals in Sofia, so I was trying to be really incognito with the camera. Of course, you can see several other tourists taking photos and things, so I didn't feel too bad. And as you can see, the art inside this cathedral is absolutely breathtaking. I was saying this in Plovdiv also. I couldn't really tell you what the difference in style is. Like, I just don't exactly see it, but these Bulgarian Orthodox churches and their art seems so different from the Serbian and Russian Orthodox churches that I'm used to. Of course, down low on the walls, you have like the fathers of the church and the saints who have passed on. And then higher on the walls, we have the Bible stories. So on the left is the Nativity, and on the right is the Last Supper. And honestly, I could spend a ton of time just standing here and looking at all of the little details in these paintings. can see also the woman who was healed when she touched Jesus' robe. Like, there are a bunch of other Bible stories as well. Those are just the main frescoes. Every arch and nook and cranny is covered with all of these little details. It's so wonderful. I just had to get more of these stones. It's so beautiful the way they're pockmarked with age. And the Cathedral of St. Nedelya is right in the middle of town, so as you walk away, there's just beautiful architecture everywhere and big plazas. You can head down to the main walking street, it's very close by. I'll head that direction in a little bit, but first I'm going to the other main cathedral. And as I go there, you pass all kinds of little beautiful churches and details. One of my favorite things about these really old cities is when you have like really old buildings next to the brand new. You cannot read anything about Sofia without hearing about the Aleksandar Nevsky Cathedral. This is the more modern of the cathedrals here in Sofia. It was finished in the early 1900s, right before the Balkan Wars. Of course, it's dedicated to Aleksandar Nevsky, who is a Russian prince and military hero, which seems interesting until you realize it was the Russian army that fought with the Turks to liberate this area from Ottoman rule. Of course, as in any war, thousands of soldiers died, and so this church is dedicated to those Russian soldiers who fought in order to liberate the country of Bulgaria. As I was saying, it's more ceremonial than anything today, and it's interesting, they're setting up for some sort of ceremony in the front right now, and so maybe you can see the soldiers setting up the red carpet and preparing. On my way over here, I ran into some sort of arrival of a delegation. It seemed like maybe there's a Chinese delegation here today, and so I'm sure they're doing the tourist sites of the city. After I'd read that this church is more ceremonial than it is in active use, I wasn't sure really what to expect, but I was really stunned. I don't know if I had a unique experience when there just aren't that many people there, or if that's what people mean when they say it's more ceremonial than active. But when you enter, it's really incredible. Like, it has a feeling to it that's really different than other churches I've been to. Somehow the space is incredibly immense, but it's still intimate. It has to do something with probably like the nature of the artwork and then the fact that the walls are soot covered from all the candles inside. It honestly makes it a really beautiful experience. This iconostasis is incredibly beautiful. You can see that it's actually marble. Super interesting that in the cupola they have God the Father. I don't think I've seen him depicted in very many churches, like, ever. And it's really interesting to see the stereotypical, like, old bearded man. Just feels so uncommon. Really love these massive murals on the wall, but the iconostasis to me is what really draws my eye. It's something to do with the white marble. Don't get me wrong, I really love the woodwork that I've seen in so many other churches, but the marble is striking. And there really is something to like these big, grandiose frescoes and more muted colors than I've seen in a lot of churches. It just adds this real feeling of intimacy. And it was super interesting with so few people around. It was like you could hear every footstep echo around the hall. Another thing I really appreciated is the juxtaposition between St. Nedelya and Aleksandar Nevsky. I really think if you come to Sofia and you do churches at all, you really should go to both. They're so different and they have such a different feeling and air to them. There's something so beautiful that just above the prayer candles is Jesus receiving the children. These cathedrals are wonderful and they're so different than the Serbian churches that I'm so much more used to now. But if we really want to see the life of the city, we've got to go to the main walking area, which is kind of like the area that if there is an Old Town Sofia, that's it. So let's go check it out. I was only here for a night, so I'm far from an expert, but my big major tip would be whatever route you're choosing, just don't stay on the streets. There are plenty of green spaces around and they're really, really pretty. Trams. I love it so much. If there's a center of the old town to the city, this is it. This is like the main walking street here in Sofia. It's called Vitosha Boulevard and it is a good time. We were hanging out here last night. We had dinner close by, got some drinks. It's a beautiful little place. The craft beer scene here in Sofia is pretty legit. I was very excited about it. There's several craft beer bars nearby and all of them had really exciting tap lists, to be honest, and a whole bunch of cans and bottles. If you stay away from the traffic streets, Sofia is a very pretty city to walk around. This is the restaurant where we had dinner, Hadji Draganavite Cellar, and it is super worth it. Very cool place. You can see there's a ton of like ethnographic stuff from like early Sofia. It's like very Bulgaria themed, which is exactly what you want. And the food was fantastic. Tons of food cooked in clay pots, and everything we saw cooked in a clay pot looked fantastic. This main walking street is truly beautiful, and behind it you get Vitosha Mountain. It's a really nice backdrop, especially as twilight is falling. Beautiful place. So my friends had told me like Sofia is great for a night, but one of the reasons I really think it could be worth more is if you want those cultural experiences. It does seem like a big city with a lot going on, really fantastic restaurants, probably a really cool party scene. Like I was saying, there's really legit craft beers. Like if there's events and things you want to see, this is probably a super, super great spot to do it. Overall, in my opinion personally, I have to say I kind of agree with the people that had told me Sofia is really great for one day. You should be excited to come, but I wouldn't spend a ton of time. For me, I really fell in love with the city of Plovdiv, just a couple hours away. So if you're interested, here's a video on screen. Check it out.